Hi friend, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, hi, my name is Armando and this is uenosTarot. Here on my channel, I do like to do pick a card readings, sharing any channeled messages from your spirit team to you. And for today's reading, we do have advice and predictions for the month of March. So I do encourage y'all to think of the things that you guys are currently pursuing to manifest and aspiring to achieve, and again, keep that in mind through as I'm reading these piles for the messages to resonate even more. So I do have 3 groups or 3 piles in front of me, so I'll definitely encourage you guys to take a minute to just pause the video, definitely take a deep breath, have a moment to have a zen headspace, and then pick the card or the pile that resonates with you guys the most. We do have pile number 1, pile number 2, and then pile number 3. So with that, let's get started with group number 1. Hey there, group number 1. So today we do have predictions for the month of March, and these are also including messages channeled through me for you by spirit, by your spirit team and guides to help you out through the upcoming month. So with that, let's get started. So first, we're going to start with the archetypes, and for pile number 1, you guys got the Destroyer, and actually let me focus it in just a bit. Also, do you guys like my nails? They look so cool. Anyways, we also have 2 oracle cards, and the ones that came up for your pile is Rejection and Prayer. And then we also have the Bat. And then we also have an advice card, which I'll read towards the end and I'll place over here. And then lastly, or second to last, we do have the tarot, and for your group, the ones that came up was the 4 of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the 2 of Swords, and the 9 of Pentacles. So, just observing this pile, I see that this month is going to be a very good month for you all. I am, pleasantly, I guess, surprised, I guess, by the messages that are coming up. I enjoy them. A lot of times, sometimes there's like mixed signals, or it's challenging messages that are hard to share with y'all. But for this one, it's a pretty good narrative that's being presented. So to start off, the Destroyer and the Bat have very similar energy. So the Destroyer is all about kind of moving on from the past, letting go of your comfort zone, no longer lingering in the comfort zone, and also just embracing the new and adapting to change for the better. I think that's really the message that's going to come up for this month, is that there's going to be a lot of positive change. And it's a change that you've been wanting, the change that you've been striving for, the change that maybe you've been struggling with and have committed some mistakes throughout the way, or have just regressed with your progress, maybe like taking 1 step forward and 10 steps back. And that's okay. Like, just know that success is not a linear progress or trajectory. So it's not just meant to go up, like progress is not just always inclined. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs until you get to the point that you want. But the Destroyer is all about that. To emphasize that message, the Bat is also about a similar theme and narrative. So as we know, bats are animals that wait for the sun to set, for the moon to rise, and that's when they come out. That's when they're able to see everything visible in the night. But with the Bat, it's also representing the idea that you're also letting one day pass, and having a fresh start the next day, and that's a big thing we have to remind ourselves when we're trying to pursue change, when we're elevating ourselves, is that our mistakes don't define us. And if you're trying to manifest a certain lifestyle, the highest version of yourself, maybe a car, maybe a dream job, maybe a dream body, whatever it may be, just know that that's not going to happen overnight. You start by building the habits today. You start by just taking small steps towards your bigger dreams and your bigger accomplishments and goals. And just remember that there's no tomorrow, there's no yesterday. All we have is the eternal now, the eternal present. So really just remind yourself to stay present in the moment and be kind to yourself as you are growing and changing. Overall, though, that's the message that Spirit wants you to be mindful of, is to be kind to yourself when you maybe do commit mistakes. But how, again, remember that a new day, it's a fresh start, a new mindset, and every morning just set the intention of what is it that you really want to achieve within your life and the goals that you're trying to, I guess, manifest. And with that mindset, with that hope, with that positivity, is going to allow you to get to your goals a lot quicker for the month of March. And again, I think overall the bigger messages that are being communicated to you is to really let go of your comfort zone. I think at this point you might be more aware of what no longer is serving your higher good or purpose, and that's important, and that's really like the most pivotal step towards, catalyzing more change within your life. So that's good, and you should really be proud of yourself for doing the work to get to where you have been at the moment. So Spirit really wants you to be proud of that fact too. In regards to the oracle cards, I think Spirit also just wants to further emphasize to you, like, what is it that you know that is no longer in alignment with you. I think you're aware of it. And again, change isn't easy, so definitely don't be hard on yourself. But I think Spirit wants to kind of give you like a friendly reminder that they know you're ready. Like they know that you have recognized what is serving you and what isn't, and just to really let go of the things that aren't giving you the most satisfaction. Maybe they might provide some temporary fix or temporary, satisfaction, but that it is not really long term. And in order for you to achieve your goals, which are a little bit more difficult to achieve, you really have to let go of the things and reject the things that don't really serve your greater good. With prayer, I think Spirit also wants you to be more connected. If you feel like you've been a little bit disconnected, maybe you've been a little bit too stimulated, maybe you've been a little bit more on the side of distracting yourself, which is again really common. And I know it's easy to keep ourselves busy, and it's important to a degree as well, so don't get me wrong. But I think what Spirit wants you to be mindful of is to take some time to really ground yourself if you're feeling overwhelmed. Maybe some like meditate, maybe just do an activity that really provides a lot of love to you and kind of grounds you. Maybe take some time to just clean out your room, clean out your closet, clean out your car, whatever it may be. Just take some time to like organize if that's what's needed within your life. I think Spirit, what they want you to be mindful of is the fact that there needs to be some time for you, and with that, it allows you to have more clarity as far as what is it that you want, and what is it that you need to do to achieve your desires. And then with that, just, set the intention to really pursue that without any resistance, and go with the flow. That way your dreams and manifestations can come into fruition a lot quicker. So with the tarot, what I'm seeing here is the fact that you are currently in a state where you might be a little bit indecisive between the things that you do want. But again, Spirit knows that you are really aware of what is and isn't serving you. And I think right now it's time to really just let go of the things that don't really serve you and just focus on the things that make you feel the best once you do them, that make you feel the most accomplished. Maybe they might not bring a lot of instant gratification, and that's okay. That's part of the process. But just know, like, after you do it consecutively, it's gonna bring more peace, more gratitude and peace into your life. So definitely keep that in mind. And overall, I think Spirit just for the month of March is really gonna be a very what's the word I'm trying to look for? It's a very like is really going to change. There's going to be a lot of positive change. You're going to let go of this mindset, like shed a complete layer, and you're leaving a lot of the ways of being indecisive. Maybe your determination and your decisiveness was like at a 40%. Now it's going to go up to like an 80%. And again, you're not going to be maybe at 100 quite yet, but that's okay. As long as we're making improvement, that's really all that matters. And for you, you should look forward for the month of March, because that's really what you can expect. For the blessing of this March is so much change, so much maturity, so much discipline, and ultimately that's going to really strengthen you towards getting the things that you want a lot easier in all ways or forms. And again, like even through your day to day, maybe you're trying to practice being more friendlier. Maybe you're trying to practice to be more open to individuals. Maybe you're practicing to be more vulnerable. Maybe you're practicing to um, leave or let go of the pain from the past to embrace new and be vulnerable to love again. So maybe it may not just be, materialistic things or physical possessions, but maybe and I guess qualities and attributes, but also internal growth. Like our mindset. How are we progressing and evolving within that realm? So definitely keep in mind and think about the things that you've really been, working hard towards achieving. I think it's so much easier to reflect when you're listening to tarot, and it's so much easier to really feel that sense of hope and feel inspired. But I really encourage you to take even notes, and think about it and how it affects your day to day, because really and I think Spirit also wants you to evolve and grow in always shapes and forms for you to have the most happiness and peace within your life. And again, happiness doesn't necessarily mean, getting the dream job, getting the dream car, but really it's a lot of the inner work that we sometimes forget that we have to do, because we do live in such a physical world. We forget to get in touch with our spiritual essence. And I think Spirit ultimately is sharing with you that this month is going to be a lot of that. Again, to further emphasize that fact is the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups represents love just being channeled to and from you through your conscious and subconscious mind. And that's something that's very beautiful. That's something that I think it's a type of love that unless you have intentionally worked for and have personally seen the progress you've made, you really can't understand. So I really encourage you to get to this point. It's really gratifying. I would say it's almost like a sense of nirvana. So definitely just keep that in mind while you're doing so much progress and change, is that there's going to be love being channeled through and from you through your conscious and subconscious mind. And that's going to be something that's going to be very gratifying, because again, this energy is just very heartwarming. It's an energy that we forget that we sometimes need, and we sometimes forget to foster more and more of. With the Four of Pentacles, you may feel a little bit more stagnant, and that's completely okay. Spirit wants you to know that sometimes when things feel a little bit more still, that's the perfect time for you to recognize and let go of things that are not serving you. You're allowing new things to come in and merge into your life and provide more peace and abundance and love. And ultimately, just keep that in mind. So if you feel like things are a little bit boring, you think things are not as moving as quickly as you wish they were, remember to stay grounded. Just keep that in mind. I think Spirit really wants you to tap into this mindset for this month of March, that it doesn't have to be, a bunch of thrills all the time. Sometimes just having the absence of pain, or being able to just, I guess, coexist with intruding thoughts, it's good enough, So ultimately, yeah, just keep that sense of peace when you are navigating through the month of March. And lastly, with the Nine of Pentacles, there's just going to be so much abundance within your life in all ways, shapes, and forms. And I think Spirit really wants you to be excited for it. And don't think that you have to wait till the end of the month. Don't think that, you cannot have blessings every single day. We do and are blessed every single day, but I think we sometimes forget to recognize and practice gratitude. And overall, whenever you're feeling challenged, however that may resonate with you, however you ever feel challenged, just give gratitude to the fact that you are able to overcome those situations and be faced with those situations that ultimately allow you to evolve more and more. So definitely keep that in mind as you are progressing through the month of March, because ultimately that's going to progress and foster more and more abundance. And I think that's going to be a great thing for you to do and practice for this upcoming month based on the messages channeled by Spirit. So lastly, I do have a crystal that I want to pull out for your group. With this, it does signify the chakra that Spirit wants you to be more focused on, and you may need to, just pay a little bit more attention to for this month, because that may help you out a lot more. in this I guess transitioning month. So for you guys got the solar plexus chakra, which is all about will and power, and I think it does tie in very well with the cards that came up in regards to the destroyer, the bat, and the two of swords. I would say the rejection card, and also this oracle card is all about the solar plexus chakra, which again is all about will and power. So yeah, just recognize the things that aren't serving you and just have the confidence and go in alignment with the flow and momentum that spirit is giving you for this month, to really let go and just thrust yourself into new opportunities, new mindsets, new timelines, new versions of yourself. And maybe you could also think about what the higher version of yourself would do in certain situations when you are channeled or challenged, and then channel that same energy, channel that same mindset for you to get to where you need to go get a lot quicker. So that's really all I have besides this actually last card. So this is more of an advice card, and this one says, in stillness I receive. So again, in stillness I receive. So I think a good message that or advice that spirit wants to give you is the fact that sometimes it's important just to take a pause and take a moment to just rest and recognize what's going on. Like exactly that. So with that, it allows you again to ground yourself and really think about what's in alignment with you, what is serving you, what isn't, letting go of the things that aren't working for you anymore. And again, through that, you're just able to receive a lot more abundance. So that's overall the messages that are coming up for y'all. So that's all I have for you, group number one. If you enjoy this pile, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and also make sure to pound that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. If this resonated, please comment down below so I know how it does. And with that, I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey there, Pal2. So this is your messages for the month of March. It's all about channeled messages. Sorry about that. From Spirit, channeled through me to you, again, by your spirit team, by your spirit guides, and ultimately they just want to share these messages for you to have the most successful and abundant month of March. So with that, let's get started. Let's first start with the archetype, and the one that came up for this group is the Pilgrim, and let me focus that. You guys also got the spirit animal, the raccoon, and yes, that's black and white. And then the advice card I'll place here. I'll read that towards the end. And then, oh, I accidentally pulled two cards for this team, and you guys got the dolphin. And actually, yes, you guys got the dolphin. And then we also have these oracle cards. So the layout might be different since you guys again got two animal spirit cards. So for these, you guys got joy, and you got the miracle card, which are both about the solar plexus chakra. And it actually matches my sweater, yellow, and actually the dolphin also has some yellow. And then we also have the tarot, which is going to be the Six of Pentacles. We have the Three of Wands. We have the Seven of Swords. And then we also have the Four of Wands. So, starting with the Pilgrim, this card is all about advancing and freedom and just having a lot of growth made through I guess open energy. That's pretty much the opposite of anything stagnant. You are, for this month of March, I think what spirit wants you to be mindful of the fact is to just be free in who you are. Don't set any mental limitations. Don't let any physical or what you may consider barriers to stop you and hinder you from really showcasing the light that's within you. I think overall that's the message and the theme for the month of March that spirit wants you to be mindful of, along with these animal spirit cards, which align pretty perfectly. So the raccoon's all about being someone who lets go of competition, that's not in, competing with others. Rather, they seek to be their authentic self, just showcasing the best versions of themselves. And because of that, they bring a very positive light into this world. And I think that's what this your spirit team wants you to be mindful of, is to let go of the things and like the barriers and just overall just dimming any light. So be mindful of what thoughts you may have within, your day to day that may dim that light or may want to dim that light. Because at this point, it may be that, your mind and your thoughts is what's really causing the most limitations from you living the best authentic version of yourself. This also indicates someone that's very into like creativity and art. So if you do have some sort of special talent, definitely dive into that, whether that's dance, whether that's any sort of communication, whether that's art, whatever it may be. Just tap into that, because the dolphin also signifies someone who's very creative and very artistic and talented. But with this dolphin card, it's also all about just being like a beacon of light and having good karma for being overall like a good and positive person. And if you might be someone who has doubts of, feeling accepted or feeling that they have, worth and potential, just know that when you are your authentic self, just know that there's other people watching you, there's other people who admire you, and because of that, you give them a lot of hope. So again, don't remind yourself to be kind to yourself. If there's thoughts where you are a little bit more hard on yourself, that's okay. Just catch them. But overall, just remember to just keep shining, because again, there are people who are around you, who watch you, who observe you. Although you might think that you're, in your own world, you might think that you're not as, open as you may believe so. But just know, just your presence has a lot of light and warmth that does inspire and make other people feel comfortable, and it inspires them to also be more like themselves. So just remember to practice that, because there is a lot of positive energy within you. And just by looking at the decks, there is, joy and miracles, and there's a lot of yellow within all the cards. And again, coincidentally, my sweater is yellow. So I think overall there is a lot of special light and chemistry that exists within you. It's just a matter of you believing it for the month of March, without a doubt, to allow you to receive more abundance throughout the next couple of weeks. With the oracle cards, you guys did receive joy. And again, spirit just wants you to keep being yourself, keep enjoy your own company, to a degree believed to be even a little bit delusional, in the regard that we don't have to take things so seriously. We don't have to wait for the right person, wait for the right group or opportunity to be happy and be, our authentic selves in the present moment. That can start today. And I think spirit really wants you to practice that throughout every day for the month of March, because it will allow you to just shine a lot more than you can have ever imagined. And I think you are the type of person to have a lot of personality and wit within yourself that you might be holding back on. So overall, just remember to really showcase that and have the intention every single day to be present and just, again, shine without any doubt, without any fear or hesitation of judgment, because really no one is, has the right to dictate how one should act or behave. And if you do feel like there's might be some, I guess, resistance, just know that that's all about them, and it's important not for you not to drink their poison. With the miracle card, that also has the same narrative. It's all about believing in the fact that you are capable of being who you wish to be, of receiving happiness and knowing that it won't fade. Just accept it, don't attach to it, but definitely just embrace it when the moments come. And overall, I think that's going to provide and foster more and more happiness within your life. And again, a lot of people are watching you. A lot of people do admire and look up to you, and there's a being within you and a character that's just so not usual. And I think you may be used to yourself, you're just used to how you are. You may think and have normalized who you are, but again, there's a special light within you that I think is not common. And I think if you really think about it, you really are someone who stands out, who brings a lot of spark into different environments. So overall, just keep that in mind for the month of March. So with the tarot cards, the ones that came up were these here. Um, and something's telling me that you might be entering your villain era. I know that has been a trending topic recently, but I really believe that's what's going to resonate and has came up within your messages for the month of March. I think what Spirit wants you to know is that you are at a point where you know your worth and you know your potential and you're taking action. And I think that's very commendable, because sometimes it may be a little bit intimidating, but I think you're at a point where you are embracing it, you are enjoying it, and you are just really doing the things that you might not have been willing to do a couple of years ago or even a couple of months ago, but now you're in the mindset to really just tackle things head on, and there's a lot of infinite potential within you. And the world is yours to conquer at this point, and you know that. There's a song by Miguel, who sings "Adorn," the most common one. If you guys don't know who he is, but he says, "Who can stop us, babe? The world is ours." And I think that's really the message that's coming through to you is, who can really stop you, babe? Like, the world is yours. And really, I think sometimes we allow other people to dictate our lives. We allow people to maybe influence our happiness, but again, happiness is within you. And I think now is your moment to really showcase it. And if you feel like if people have like put you down in the past, let that go. That's the past, and you're in the present moment, and now you're more mentally prepared to really live your best life. And I think that's very important. Spirit also wants you to be very kind to yourself and celebrate every single accomplishment that you feel is worth celebrating, even if it's super small or something you don't think it's too difficult. Maybe you might think like, oh well, other people do it a lot better, other people do it a lot often, other people do it a lot easier. By you saying that, you are dimming and belittling your light and your accomplishments. So overall, just remember to really celebrate yourself in every way when you feel like you have accomplished anything worthwhile. I think overall that's gonna provide a lot of positivity within your life, because you are honoring yourself for the things that other people might not even be willing to do. You might be belittling yourself knowing that others wouldn't even dare to do half the things that you're doing. So definitely give yourself credit throughout all the month of March for any of the accomplishments that you are, thriving through. In regards to the villain era, that's where I see it here. I think it's important, one, that if you have to go a little bit solo, that's okay. Sometimes you won't have, a tribe or your, like spirit team or just your tribe to celebrate things with and honor your accomplishments with, and maybe your people around you might not be too confident and content with themselves to take a time to honor you. So that's okay. You're able to do that to yourself and give that to yourself always. But in regards to the villain era, the reason why I say this is because with the Six of Pentacles, this is someone who has received a lot of abundance and success. And again, overall, this could be represented in many different ways. It could be, the literal sense of like monetary wealth that now you're able to give back to people here and there. Maybe beggars are coming back. But overall, it also shows that you're going to be someone who is going to be generous with your abundance, but you also are going to be mindful of when your limit is to be generous and preserve that to yourself for you to be, the best and happiest version of yourself, and can foster the most amount of peace within yourself. But again, this can be, either you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of discipline, you have a lot of wisdom, you have a lot of knowledge, you have a lot of just like those subtle senses that sometimes people can't really recognize, but you're now monitoring that and saving that for yourself, for your success. And I think you're also going to be able to walk away and take things Like, walk away from situations when they're no longer serving you and only take the things that you need. And if people get offended by you walking away or taking time for yourself or prioritizing yourself, that is not your problem or concern. Your concern is only to preserve the most energy for yourself, to accomplish your goals, to have enough energy and happiness to give to yourself. Because if you're giving it out to others, there might not be enough for you at the end of the day, and that's where you might be feeling a little bit depleted. But overall, I think that's the energy that's coming through for the month of March. There's going to be a lot of respect and prioritization of yourself or for yourself, which I think is going to be very important. And again, it doesn't mean that there's not people around you that support you, but overall, that's the theme that I'm getting from this message. And again, if people are being kind to you and also reciprocating that love, that's when you also should, give back. It should be an equal give and take situation, not someone taking too much from you. Before I get to your chakra crystal, this is the last card that I have for you guys, and is advice that spirit wants you to be mindful of for the month of March. And the card says, when I am patient, I let the universe do for me what I cannot do for myself. So when I am patient, I let the universe do for me what I cannot do for myself. And that's very true. I think sometimes we do want to expedite things. But I think overall, this month, that if you're patient with yourself, one, that equates confidence. So when you're patient with yourself, that equals confidence. And then two, when you're also patient with yourself, you're just able to go with the flow, not worry about time, which is just an illusion and ultimately gives more power to our ego. But you're just going to be present in every moment. And I think that's the most important thing. It's an important part of our awakening, to be more present throughout our day-to-day lives, because ultimately that's going to, just bring a lot more happiness. And I think one important thing is that we need to accept ourselves completely in the here and now. So again, accept ourselves completely in the here and now. And that way we're able to consciously experience everything we feel, think, say, and do, because that is a necessary part of our awakening. So overall, just be mindful of that and for the month of March. And lastly, I'm just going to pull out a crystal for your team or for your pile. And this is the chakra that spirit wants you to be the most connected for the upcoming month. So this one, and I always forget the color. So let me... Which one's darker? So I always could tell by which one's darker. Oh my god, I really can't tell. I really can't tell. Well, overall, I believe this one's the sacral chakra. So maybe just, again, preserve a lot of energy, more of our humanistic energy and physical, sensations that we may feel within our lives. Again, I think our physical body is different from our spiritual essence. And I think sometimes our physical body maybe wants more like physical sensations, as far as maybe like having a drink, having a good snack, spending money, those things that provide temporary satisfaction is not the way to go for the month of March. Definitely just be disciplined and preserve all and energy for yourself, for your growth, for your happiness, for you to continue shining bright. And again, there are people who watch you and admire you and are inspired by you. So just keep that in mind through the month of March, just to continue being yourself and showcasing the best side of who you really are. So with that, that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope this pile resonated. If it did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also comment below so I can know how it did resonate, and then also pound that subscribe button. And with that, let's get started with group number 3. Hey there, pile number 3. So these are the messages that I have for you from Spirit to you for the month of March. So these are going to be advices and somewhat predictions of what your Spirit team wants you to be aware of for the month of March. So with that, I do encourage you to have things that you're currently trying to achieve or working through in life at the moment in mind, as I'm pulling out the cards and sharing the channeled messages. So with that, let's get started with the archetype that came up for your team or your pile. The first one is the creator. So I'll put that there. For your animal spirit card, the one that came up was the lion. And then your advice card, which I'll read towards the end, is this one. And I'll set that here for now. And then the oracle cards that came up. The first one's destiny, and the second one is perseverance. And then moving on with your tarot, we have the 9 of wands. We have the death card. And then we have the temperance and the 6 of wands. So to start off with the creator archetype, so for this card is really someone who is an artist, who's an alchemist, and overall has the ability to create a lot within their life. It's almost like the magician. That's the vibe that's coming out for this card, and that's really the theme for the month of March. So for this card, I think one thing that Spirit really wants you to be mindful of is the fact that you really need to be in tune with your curious side throughout this month. Kind of like how we were so curious as children, but when we do experience hardships, that curiosity kind of loosens a little bit. That spark kind of loses. We lose that spark to a degree. But overall, I think what Spirit wants you to do is just to practice being more open and playfulness or playful for the upcoming month, because that's something that's really going to help you out throughout, the month of March. With the Lion card, it aligns pretty well with the creator card. Overall, the lion does represents the epitome of someone who is all about peace and strength. And for the most part, people are intimidated by, this spirit animal card, because you're someone who's really big on self-transformations. And I think for the most part, and just actually to specify, self-transformation can be both personal and spiritual growth, and because of that, people do just naturally admire you and have a lot of respect for you. You're respected by many, but I think you're the type of person that only lets a few in and really allows people to really get to know the essence of who you are. But yeah, overall, the theme for the month of March is for you to really grow and strive towards spiritual and personal development, but with a curious aspect in mind and approach throughout the process, because again, that's going to just make your experience a lot more easier. I think naturally you do have a very playful side within you, and I think that's going to really help you navigate through this upcoming month, especially if things are being more challenging. If you feel a little bit more stuck, your curiosity and creativity as the creator will allow you to solve solutions, problem solve, troubleshoot just a lot more quicker, more efficient, and more effectively, which is the main thing that Spirit wants you to be aware of and trusting of through the month of March as you are growing and advancing. With the destiny and perseverance, Spirit knows that you are at a point in your life where you know where you're getting, and you know where you're headed, and you know the goals you're trying to achieve. And for the most part, you are on the right path, you are on the right trajectory, and Spirit can recognize and wants to congratulate you for the fact that you are doing the work that it takes to really embody and manifest the dreams that you're pursuing and chasing. With perseverance, I think Spirit really wants you to just keep that in mind. It's just to keep going. I think the energy that's being channeled through this cards is it's for the most part positive. There's not much hesitation. There's not much like self-doubt that usually comes out in some of the readings. But for this one, I do get the sense that you're more secured about who you are, especially with the Leo card coming out, and what you're capable of doing and achieving and what you are trying to achieve. So overall, just I think what Spirit wants you to be mindful of the fact is to continue persevering on, challenging, I guess like chugging through any obstacles that may appear, because again, you are very powerful, and through your creativity, you are able to are able to overcome obstacles a lot easier than other individuals. So definitely keep that in mind through this upcoming month. So with the Nine of Wands, I do get the sense that at times you may feel that you are or get a little bit overwhelmed when you are faced with challenges. Just remind yourself that you are not your thoughts, and your mistakes or your obstacles don't define you. I think a lot of times we kind of do put ourselves in a very stagnant headspace where we're not able to see outside the box. We're not able to see the bigger picture. But overall, I think Spirit knows that this is going to be a month for you where you're able to overcome a lot of things. And overall, I think it's going to be a good eye-opening experience where you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed, knowing that the home stretch is just around the corner. So you may be feeling overwhelmed, but again, that doesn't mean that you're not on the right path. That doesn't mean that you're not doing enough. That doesn't mean that you're not doing the exact things that you're required to be doing to achieve those things. Rather, you're just going to be able to recognize like, hey, if I do, have perseverance, and although my destiny does seem so far away, through my determination and my creativity and problem solving skills, I'll be able to overcome. And I think just having more and more of those experiences will really allow you to resonate with that concept that through perseverance you're able to overcome so much, and then by witnessing it's just going to fully solidify that within your head, and it's going to be a skill within yourself that you're going to definitely own and possess. With the Death card, I think this aligns perfectly with the Lion card about self-transformation, whether personal or spiritual. And again, I think what Spirit wants you to be mindful of, that you're someone who's really big on change, and you're not afraid of change. And it seems like it's not your first time in the rodeo in regards to change, but overall, you're just able to overcome it so easily. So I think what Spirit really wants you to be mindful of for this month is just be so utterly open to change, knowing that you are capable of overcoming it. I think one thing that Spirit wants you to be mindful of is to kind of enter the void with no resistance head on, knowing that you can, overcome and triumph so greatly through any obstacles that you think you're facing. A lot of times, again, we do want to catastrophize our situations and circumstances a lot more and give them a lot more credit than what they really are all about, in regards to just believing that it's more harder than it really is. And I think one thing that Spirit really wants you to be mindful of is the fact that with the Lion card, you're someone who knows not to waste any energy or resource. And I think that's what Spirit wants you to keep doing, is just know where to place your energy on and your resources. So maybe, for example, like, you're not someone who focuses on resistance, like, oh no, this is too hard. Like, no, you instead waste and utilize your energy towards positive things, like believing you can, knowing you can, taking the courage and having the courage to take the first steps to overcome it. And overall, that's gonna, it's just what describes the essence of who you are, which is just about personal growth and development, which is very inspiring and just overall very powerful. With the Temperance, this does, and the Six of Wands, actually, it recognizes the fact that you are someone who can practice balance. And I think balance is very important in every regard in our life, because again, if you're focusing too much energy on, what you can't do, what you wish wasn't present in your life, you're just off. When a person does that, they're just offering resistance. But for you, you're able to know when a thought comes or a feeling comes, you're able to acknowledge it, recognize and accept that that's a sensation you're currently feeling, but knowing that that too shall pass. And overall, I think just embodying more of that balance will help you cope better with intrusive thoughts, any feelings that may feel discomforting. But again, by offering no resistance, that's ultimately how you are able to overcome these situations. Well, with the Six of Wands, I think what Spirit wants you to know is that you, although you might not see it at times, you're someone who is very, has a lot of like admiration around you. I think people again admire you. All the people around you do admire you, but only the few that you let in are able to actually recognize your true wealth, your true potential, and just a love and I guess respect that you give to people. You're selective about who you give that to. But just through the month of March, if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed, just know that people do admire you and people are rooting for you, and they know that you're destined for a lot of great things. And I think you're aware of that too. Like you have a sense of where you could be and the potential that you do hold, and people also can recognize that within you. So definitely keep that in mind. If you're feeling insecure, especially, just know that people admire you, whether that's for your beauty, your grace, your determination, whatever it may be. Just keep that in mind for the month of March. Lastly, I do have the advice card from Spirit, and this one says, when I cultivate a spiritual connection, I can trust the universe no matter what. So again, when I cultivate a spiritual connection, I can trust the universe no matter what. So that's a very good thing and mantra to remind ourselves throughout any day, really, or throughout our day to day, because a lot of times I think there is so much self-doubt and we become untrusting of certain situations, certain scenarios, and we just imagine and visualize the bad things or the obstacles that can occur and surface through certain events. But again, through having a greater trust in God or the universe or being, however it may be, is ultimately going to allow us to, realign with our destiny even more and get to our goals and receive abundance throughout our days more and more of, when we are able to recognize and practice that sense of gratitude. But overall, Spirit definitely wants you just to trust the process. Again, you know where you're going, and people are able to recognize it too. You're all about transformation, so you are again, it's kind of giving off magician vibes. So whatever you're trying to create in your life, whether that's in a physical or spiritual sense, definitely pursue it, because you're someone that's able to manifest them a lot easier. And then with that, I want to give y'all a crystal for your group or your pile, which I have here. And this one's going to represent the chakra that the universe wants you to be more connected with or in tune with for the month of March. The first one that came up, or the one that comes up for y'all, is the heart chakra. So yeah, so I think overall, Spirit just wants you to remind yourself to affirm that you are the epitome of peace, love, and happiness. And I think with that, if you affirm that to yourself, even through the most stressful moments, it grounds you back to that equilibrium of, again, peace, love, and happiness. And when you do encounter any thoughts, any intrusive thoughts, just remind yourself of that's just a temporary thought, and it's not who you are. It doesn't define who you are, where you're going, or your worth. But again, overall, just affirming to yourself that you are peace and love. And even this, affirming to yourself, this card says, when I cultivate a spiritual connection, I can trust the universe no matter what. So maybe you can affirm to yourself that I trust the universe always and always. I trust the universe always and always. And I'm not sure if you guys seen that Megan Thee Stallion mantra where she's like meditating. She's like, even though I'm going through it, I know I'm gonna get through it. And that may be very simple, but it's very true. So overall, I think Spirit also just wants you to have some sense of practice of affirmations for this month of March, because that's really going to help you get to your destiny and receive abundance, a lot of abundance throughout your day to day. So that's all I have for you, pile number 3. I really hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, I would really appreciate if you comment down below just so I know how it resonated or what you want to see different. Make sure to also pound that subscribe button. And with that, I'll see you guys on my next reading. Bye.